targeting devices like Motorola Moto G 3rd generation and lots of other devices in the lower mid-range category, because this is the highest selling segment of smartphones in India. But surprisingly, the specs of this J5 are actually quite good considering this is Samsung. Here is a glimpse of the primary specs. You are getting Super AMOLED 5 inches display, 4G LTE connection, 1.2 GHz quad-core processors and 13 plus 5 megapixel cameras with front LED flash, which is great for selfies, and there is also ultra power saving mode, which is a great tool when you have only single digit battery left. This phone will work with Indian SIM card only, and the price of this device on the box is 13,900 rupees, but on Flipkart it's retailing at 11,999 rupees, which is actually around $190. So the specs to price ratio seems quite reasonable, especially when this phone is from a brand like Samsung. Now let's get started with the unboxing, and I also want to mention here, if you are from India, you will get free 4G upgrade from Airtel, and as this device is only available on Flipkart, I have added a Flipkart link in the description below, so check that out as well. At this moment the device is out of stock because of the high demand, so follow the link to find the availability and the current price. There you go guys, the all new Samsung Galaxy J5, which looks like a typical Samsung device. The back is matte finished and the metallic looking bezel is actually made of plastic. There are 3 colors available: gold, black and white. Before giving you a walkthrough of the device, let's find out what's inside the box. First of all, you get the manual, which is basically the quick start guide, and next you get the headphone, which is a simple basic headphone and not of in-ear type. The 3.5mm headphone jack is thankfully gold plated, and this will provide optimum sound quality. The remote holds the microphone hole and a push button for answering and disconnecting calls. You can also control music. These earpieces are of very high quality material, and you will surely get decent quality sound, but the bass level might not be that much high. I'll try this out and talk about the quality in the full review. Next, I have for you the charging adapter, which is huge, and I think Samsung should come out with more compact design. It's a 1 ampere charger and should charge your J5 fast enough. The USB port is at the side, which actually eats up lots of space on your switchboard. This is the data cable as well as the charging cable. I don't know why Samsung included such a short cable. The last thing in the box is the battery, which is of 2600 mAh. The flagship Galaxy S6 sports a smaller 2550 mAh battery, so on this J5, which is a lower mid-range device, this huge battery will ensure at least 2 full days backup with normal to heavy uses, so that's a great news. I'll check the battery performance and talk about it in the full review. Well, there is nothing left inside the box. Now let's get rid of this mess here and look into the device itself. Well, as you know, Samsung released metal frame devices like Galaxy A3, A5 and A7, but for this J series they are sticking to the old design. The thickness of this phone is 7.9mm, which is actually not bad for an entry-level device, and I suggest you to use a case for this device because this chrome finish might wear off after few months or years of uses, especially if you drop the phone. There is so much protective plastic on the phone, so let's get rid of all of this, and here is another one. The chrome finish is actually quite glossy, and overall this phone looks good as the Galaxy S5 or previous Samsung devices. Now I'll give you a quick walkthrough of this device. The weight of this phone is 146 gram, which is on the heavier side but feels quite solid in hand. The display here is Super AMOLED 5 inches diagonally with HD, that is 1280 by 720 pixels resolution at 294 ppi, which is almost close to the Retina threshold. At the bottom you get the capacitive back, push button home and the multitasking key, which is a capacitive key. At the top there you get the 5 megapixel front facing camera with full HD recording, and there is also a camera flash. Though it's a great news for the selfie lovers, but you should know that this is not a typical camera flash, but it's a continuous LED light just like a torch. There you get the sensors and also the grill for the earpiece. The rear camera is of 13 megapixel resolution with full HD recording. The maximum aperture is f1.9, which is again great. So looks like the camera on this phone are quite promising. You can get this device only for the cameras. This is the loudspeaker with a small bump, and overall the look and design of this phone is not bad, but as you know, this design is quite repetitive. Even the last year's flagship Galaxy S5 had the same design. The Motorola G3 has got some texture at the back, and if you look at the front, I think both of these devices are decent looking, though the bezel of the J5 is quite narrow compared to the G3. If you are in a dilemma in between these two phones, just wait for a while. I'll upload a side-by-side comparison in between these two phones, so make sure you are subscribed. Now this Galaxy J5 is a 4G capable device with Qualcomm Snapdragon 410 chipset. The GPU is actually Adreno 306. There you get the 3.5mm headset jack and the micro USB port for charging as well as data syncing. This is the microphone hole for talking and also for recording videos. The bezel is slightly flat at the bottom and also at the top. Now as usual, you get the volume rocker at the right side of the phone and the power key on the left side. You can easily access the power key, but the volume keys are not accessible with any of your fingers if you are holding the phone with your one hand, so Samsung should actually move this to the left hand side of the phone. Now let's remove the back cover and check what's underneath. This phone takes dual micro SIM cards, and the SIM card 2 slot is here. The microSD card slot, which supports up to 128GB, is here, and the SIM1 slot, which is 4G capable, is just below this. That's all under the hood. There is no NFC support on this Galaxy J5. Now let's install the battery, hit the power button and check what this Galaxy J5 has to offer in the software department. Samsung phones always excels in the software, in the user interface. The TouchWiz UI is full of features, and the Super AMOLED display is actually very colorful. Let me show you some colorful wallpapers to give you a better idea about the display. It's quite bright and the colors are very saturated. Watching movies, playing games on this Super AMOLED display will be quite enjoyable, and the pixel density is also decent. I cannot notice a single pixel from this distance. You will surely love this display. The viewing angles are just absolutely great, much better than IPS panels, because IPS panels actually lose some brightness at different angles. In this case, the display looks equally good from all the angles. So this display here on this J5 is another strong field, along with the camera, which I will talk about very soon in this review, so be with me guys. Now before I launch any application, let me just quickly check the RAM, storage and also the Android version. The Android version on this phone is Android 5.1.1 Lollipop, which is the latest version available till now, so that's good. Next, the RAM on this phone is officially 1.5GB. Let's check what's the free RAM at this moment. Well, out of the box I'm getting 422MB used by the system, 254 by the apps and 713MB free for the user. Considering this is a TouchWiz device, it's actually not bad. You can play almost all the high-end games with this RAM. The storage on this device is only 8GB, and I'm getting merely 4.26GB free for the user, which is actually quite low. There is also a 16GB variant of this phone not available in India. Overall, the specs sheet looks great considering the price tag of only 11,999. Guys, now let me give you a quick preview of the interface. There is a nice water droplet effect on the lock screen, and you can launch the camera and also the dialer right from here. You will get notifications, and just with a swipe you can unlock. The wallpaper does not move with home screen swipes. Because of the heavy TouchWiz interface, most of the time the entry-level devices suffer from lag, but not this time. All of these applications are opening almost instantly because the specs of this phone are just great, comparable to a mid-range or higher mid-range device. The swipe input is not enabled by default. Let's enable this, and I personally feel the swiping or continuous input method is the best on Samsung devices. Samsung keyboard is very responsive, and the autocorrect as well as autocomplete features are quite intelligent. There is a very little chance you will make a mistake. The display glass is also unbelievably smooth because of the oleophobic coating, and overall the writing experience on this Galaxy J5 is as good as it can be. Now let's quickly check the apps drawer. There are very few custom Samsung apps to save space. There you get the file manager, recorder, etc. The S Planner is quite handy sometimes. Though Samsung did not include its smart apps, you can download all of them from this Galaxy App Store, so check this out. There is a smart manager where you can manage your battery, your storage, RAM, and the battery, as I mentioned before, is huge, 2600 mAh, which should be ample for at least 2 days, and you can play games for like 5 or 6 hours, and there are some battery saving tricks embedded as well. You can go for this power saving mode, which will restrict the CPU performance, and the ultra power saving mode actually turns the display into grayscale. As this is a super AMOLED display, black and white screen will actually save considerable amount of battery. The Smart Manager also offers a device security option with the help of the Intel security software. Previously this service was provided by McAfee. You can scan the whole device for any adware or malware, and there is also Samsung Knox. As you know, with the Knox you can create a separate workspace on your phone which is secured and also private. Now there is also a clean all button which actually clears your RAM and closes unused applications in the background. Well, on this Galaxy J5 you are getting around 3200 rupees worth of game credits, and you need to log into this game zone to use that. As you can see, there are some games preloaded as well, but these are actually trial versions of these games. You can play up to 5 times for around 180 seconds. So on a device with only 8 GB of storage, these are eating up considerable amount of space. Vital Microsoft apps like OneDrive, OneNote, Skype, etc. are also installed, so this Galaxy J5 is full of bloatware, and unfortunately there is no auto brightness option on this J5, though there is the outdoor mode with maximum brightness. These are the toggles you can press to enable, and these can be rearranged as well. Now to capture candid moments, you can just double press the home button to launch the camera right away. Let me show you some important settings. First of all, you are getting themes, that is, you can change the whole getup of the phone without even installing any third-party launcher. Numerous themes can be downloaded from the Samsung's theme store. The dual SIM can be managed from here. There is a smart dual SIM option, that is, you can get calls on the SIM 2 even when you are busy on the SIM 1. You will get waiting notifications. Now I'll be quickly checking the camera on this device, which is one of the main reasons you should get this Galaxy J5. Now though there is no physical shutter key, you can use the volume rocker, which is very helpful for taking selfies with the rear camera. The autofocusing seems quite fast actually. The focusing also seems very accurate. The front facing camera is a 5 megapixel fixed focus shooter, and on the viewfinder it's looking damn good. There is a camera flash and it's basically a torch, and will be very helpful for taking selfies in dark. I'll be doing a detailed camera test on this J5 very soon and upload the camera samples into my webpage gadgetsportal.in/camera-samples and also into my Facebook page facebook.com/gadgetsportal. Let's check the captured images. This is a front camera sample and well, the image is looking damn good for a front camera. Even this small text is easily visible, there is no pixelation. Overall, I am quite satisfied with the front camera. This is the rear camera sample and the fine texture is quite sharp and everything looks in focus. I want to just remind you the lens is very fast f1.9, so the camera on this J5 is I think comparable to a high-end device. If you are a camera lover, then you can go for this Galaxy J5. Well guys, we are almost at the end of this unboxing and hands-on review. Overall, this Galaxy J5 is a decent device for only 11,999, so without breaking the bank, you can enjoy the high quality display and the great camera. The Samsung TouchWiz interface is quite intuitive and feature rich. Though the exterior design is quite repetitive, you can attach a good looking case and change the whole getup. Overall, I think this Galaxy J5 is worth buying. The full review is on the way and I'll give my final verdict in that review, so make sure you are subscribed. You can also check the description below for the video of Moto G3 and a direct Flipkart link to buy this device. So that's all for today guys, thanks a lot for watching. Keep in touch and don't forget to subscribe.